Good morning, Internet. This is Alex does Sudokus, and it is Wednesday, the 16th of September 2020. I've calmed down a little bit now and managed to find a slot to do the medium New York Times Sudoku. If you haven't seen my hard video, I had a bit of a problem this morning, basically. So, anyway, let's dive into today's medium New York Times Sudoku with some Snyder notations. So what we do is we're pencil marking any numbers within every cage where we only have two possible candidates. If they are three, we leave them alone. In fact, I want to stay in this cage because it looks quite nice for a lot of... it looks quite resolvable, basically, because I can see the 6 seeing into the same cells as the 1, so that forms a 1-6 matching pair. What that means is if the 1 goes here, the 6 has to go there, and if the 1 goes here instead, the 6 has to go there. That in essence locks out any other numbers from these two cells, making them out of play, but also 1s and 6 can't go anywhere else within these two cells, this cage as well. So that's the effect of locking the 4 in here because of that 4, and that allows me to also place the 3 as well, so that was quite useful. So let's look at other ones. Well, we've got another interesting area here, so we've got 1 locked in here, but I haven't got enough numbers looking into this cage to form any more deductions, so I think that's all the 1s. I'm quite tempted to immediately look in this cage as well, because, for example, I can see the 5 is locked in that cell because I've got these 2 5s locking those cells and not looking into here. The reason I find it interesting is because of this little gap there, so any numbers on that row will be ruled out of this entire column straight away. And I've got quite a lot of numbers up here as well, but turns out it's only the 5s that's useful by the look of it. But if I continue on with this 5, I can see another pair of 5s up there. This area is looking quite interesting, so I want to have a look at it as well. So this area can't have, I need 4 numbers in there, and 6 is one of the numbers, but the 6 in this cage rules it out of these 3 cells, so that has to be a 6 up here then. So, you know, these cages are looking really congested, which is good in Sudoku because it allows us to hopefully resolve them quite quickly. So I can see the 2 9s locks them in these 2 cells as well, forming another matching pair of 5s and 9s. So that leaves me with a triple, but the 7 sees into these 2 cells, so I can actually place the 7 now. So that means these have to be 1s and 2s. Well, if these are 1s, that forms a pointed pair, basically, because the 1s have to be in this column within this cage. So it can't be in the same column outside the cage as well. So that can no longer be a 1, so 1s and 6 can be placed. So again, these are a matching pair of 1s and 2s. So not only do they form a matching pair within the cage, they form a matching pair along the column as well. So it means 1s and 2s can't go in these 2 cells anymore. So I've only, in essence, got 2 numbers left that I can place in this column, and they are 3s and 8s. But unfortunately, I can't actually see what they are. So, but what's interesting, this cage now is, I've got a triple forming now in this column that falls within the same cage. So these 3 cells have to contain 3 specific numbers, and so they, in essence, are matching triple. That means there's only 1 cell left that's free for play within this cage. So we can probably, we can also deduce that by the fact that the 5 and 9s are locked over there as well. So we should be able to deduce that this is actually a 2 in this column or within this cage. But there are 2 ways we can arrive at this cell as well. So, is anything interesting with this triple? We are missing a 1, 7, and 9. Well, 9 can see this cell. So why don't we place the 9s? But we'll ignore the 1s and 7s for now, because we only try to pencil mark in 2 numbers at a time, and I'm trying to be a bit more strict on that kind of principle at the moment. So let's have a look around the grid again. Now that we've placed a lot more numbers, we should be able to do more pencil markings with the 1s. They can go over here because the rows are ruled out. So if I look at 2s, I can actually place a 2 over here because of these 2s locking the rows, and it's this 2 locking the column. And now I've got another pair of 2s locked up there, and down here I've got a pair of 2s as well because these 2s lock the rows. So what about 3s? I have a 3 locked in this cell because of these 3s all looking into this cage. I've also got a pair of 3s over there because of these 2 3s and that 3. And looking down here, the 3 can go in any of these 4 cells, so I'm not going to pencil mark them in. Instead, I'm going to move on to 4s. I've got the 4s locking the columns and a 4 locking the row. In fact, I've got a pair here, so this may be resolvable along the row. So I'm missing 5s and 8s, but I can't tell where they are yet, so let's leave that for now. Anything else I can do with the 4s? Not that I can see. Oh, actually, I've got a pair of 4s here as well, so... But I think that's all I can do with the 4s. So let's move on to the 5s. So I've got a pair of 5s over there. Come on, keyboard. Because of these 2 5s locking the columns and that 5 locking the rows. 5s. Let's look at 6s. So that has to be a 6 because of these 2 6s and that 6. So these 2 6s now look up to the top cage, locking a pair of 6s over there because that's that 6 rules out the row. But this 6 and that 6 actually locks a pair of 6s in there. In fact, a 3-6 pair has formed in here as well. So this pointer pair of 6s unlocks a 6 over here because that can't be a 6 anymore. So finally we have another pair of 6s down here, and that's all the 6s pencil marked in. So what about 7s then? 7s, we haven't got many of them and they don't do anything for us yet. But 8s, I can form a pair of 8s over there because of this single 8. So that pointer pair of 8s also means 8s can't go in there anymore, so 8s have to go in this row. And now they form another pointer pair horizontally, ruling out any 8s on this row. So that places the 8 and the 3. So whilst I'm on the 3, let's place a pair of 3s over there because that 3, these 2 3s and that 3 locks the pair of 3s there. And now basically all the 3s are pencil marked in. The 8 also locks an 8 at the bottom, but we can't tell where it is yet. So let's leave that for now. I think that's all I can do with the 8s. So let's move on to 9s. Well, I can place a 9 here because of these 2 9s and that 9 locking the cell over there. And that 9 has the effect of cleaning that pencil marking. And that's the advantage of Snyder notations. When you clean a pencil marking, it means there's only one possibility left and you can place it. Can I do anything else on the 9s? I've got another pair of 9s over here. Oh god, my keyboard is flipping out now. I've got a wireless keyboard basically, and it just gets a bit fickle at times, and I may need to do something with it. So 9s, anything else going on with it? Not that I can see, so let's move on. Let's focus on these 2 cells now. So they have to be 1s and 7s. We knew that actually. 7s have to go in this cage as well, but we don't know where. I'm just trying to see if there are any weak areas that we can attack, but I may not go down that route today because I'm just trying to keep it simple basically. So why don't we go around the board again with all the numbers. So this is typically how I try to solve the Sudokus, which is just go around the board from 1 to 9 and see where the pencil markings can go, and typically they resolve themselves magically. Let's see, I can't lock, so this is the only cage where the 2 hasn't been pencil marked in, and I can't figure out where it is yet, so let's leave that alone for now. 3s have pencil marked in. Now these 3 6s are now proving useful because if I look at the 4s, they can't go in these cells because of the rows being occupied. So they have to be in one of these 3 cells. But if this is a 3, that is a 6, and that is a 3, that's a 6. So 4 can't go in either of these 2 cells. that's how matching pairs can be really useful. So with that 4 placed, can't do anything else with it actually, so let's move on to 5s then. Undoubtedly it would have done something for us, but it's just not immediately obvious. 5s I can't see anything, so 6s, let's see, I think 6s are pencil marked in anyway, so 7s. 7s, okay, so now 7s are locked in these 3 cells because they can't go in there, although that doesn't help us. We still only have 1 7, so I want to look at this area now to see if I can do anything with it. I'm missing 1, 2 and 8. So in this cell I can see a 2 and an 8. I can see a 2 there, and I've got a pointer pair of 8s there, so it can't be 2 or 8, and I need to place 1, 2 and 8 in these 3 cells. So if that can't be 2 or 8, that has to be the 1, and that resolves the 1 down here as well, and the 8, because I've removed the pencil marking. Each time I remove a pencil marking, I confirmed the other pencil marking as the final location. So this is now 7, and finally we've placed more 7s now. We've got 3 7s to play with, and this 7 locks a pair of 7s over there, and now the pointer pair of 7s with that 7 locks another pair of 7s over here. Is that useful for me? Well, I do have another pair of 7s over here, because that 7 and a hidden 7 up here locks these 2 cells as the 7s basically. So this 7 also unlocks the 1s and 7 over here, which I missed, and this 1 is now locking a pair of 1s in there. So a little bit of a slightly advanced tactic. There are different ways of approaching this, but right now on this column I can place the 1 here, because the 1 sees into that cell, 1 sees into that cell, 1 sees into that cell. But the way I normally spot it is actually, well, if 1s can only be in these 2 cells in this cage, and 1s can only be in these 2 cells in this cage, well, they share the same column. They share columns 2s and 3s. So 1s can't go, 1s are going into columns 2s and 3s in these 2 cages. That means column 1 has to be in the, 1 has to be in column 1 in the remaining cage basically. So that's how I'm able to quickly spot the 1 as a result. What I didn't spot though is when I placed this 1 earlier, that actually resolves the 1 and 2. So naughty of me. And this 2 now has the effect of locking out that cell as well, so the 2s have to be up here, resolving that 2 and 7. And remember earlier that we knew that the 7 is up here somewhere. And also on this row we've only got 1 number left, and that's the 8. And this 8 is useful because working with that 8, it locks a pair of 8s over there. So now I've got another pointer pair of 8s looking down. That forces an 8 in this cell because I've got the 8 seeing this column, pointed 8 seeing this column, and I've got these 2 8s. So what do we delete when we place that 8? We deleted a 6, so that means there's only 1 6 left. We can place it. I think we deleted a 2 as well, but actually no, there wasn't a 2. But either way, there's only 1 place for 2 in this cage, so I think there was a 2 in there somewhere. Oh, maybe not, because I had 2 up there the whole time, so I'm not sure what happened with the 2, but anyway, that's a 2, and now this has to be a 7, and if that's a 7, that can't be a 7 anymore as well. Okay, so I think these are 7s though, so let's pencil mark them in. Okay, so where can we go next? Why don't we carry on with the pencil markings? But I actually forgot where I was with the pencil markings, so what I may do is just pick a random number. I'm going to pick 5. So 5 sees into that cell, so 5 is here, but in fact this cage looks interesting anyway. We've only got 3 cells left. There are 5, 8 and 9, and 5 and 8 sees into that cell, so this is actually a 9, so that takes out the 9 over here, forcing the 9 in this cell, so that removes a 4, removes an 8, so that leaves me with a pair of 7s and 5s, and if they are 5s, they're pointing in this direction on this row. So 5 actually goes there, 5 and 8. This leaves me 1s and 4s over here. Probably don't need to pencil mark them in at this stage. And what did we say these are? 5s and 8s. Oops, 8. Well, I've got an 8 over here, so 8 has to go up here, so that has to be the 5. Oh yeah, and this 5 unlocks the 7 and 5s anyway. So here, that 5 unlocks the 9 and the 5. And there must be something down here that is not right. Let's see. 2, oh yeah, this 2 unlocks the 2 and 7, so 2 and 7 are unlocked. And that 7 unlocks the 4 and 7 here. And that 4 also unlocks the 1 and 4. And that 1 unlocks the 3 and 1. And that 3 unlocks the 3 and 6. And that's today's medium New York Times Sudoku. I hope that's been useful, and please like and subscribe if you find my videos useful, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!